All right, welcome back. All right, so I've got to say something. I am so grateful for all of these new subscribers. I don't know where you guys are coming from. You guys just came out of the woodworks. I mean, I've just been screen recording some things that I like to talk about. I like this new PulseChain. I like this environment. I like this community. I like interacting with the people in the community. You guys are fantastic. I mean, you really are. And I don't know if anybody's been involved in any other communities where you go in and you ask a question. It could be a dumb question, a really dumb one. And you don't just get destroyed. Well, I mean, there's always somebody that's going to destroy you. They're just upset about themselves. I mean, they're probably adopted. So that happens, right? They're just upset about life, and that happens. But in general, this community is like all about each other, all about helping each other. And I think that's huge. And I actually think that's the most important thing in any project, is to have a solid, strong, massive community that works with each other, that talks to each other, that engages with each other, that helps each other up, that lifts each other up. And that's what I love about this. That's what I love about this platform. That's what I love about it so far. Richard has developed something that is cohesive, that works together, it feels military, like in the fact that you're not looking at your own best interest. You're looking at almost like you're watching out for your buddy. You're not worrying about if you're safe. You're worrying about the guy next to you. Today, or now, I've been researching IMD token for a while now. So internet money dividend token. I got involved in this token during the sacrifice stage, and actually I found out about a week and a half before the sacrifice started. And I really went in and I just asked a ton of questions. I mean, and again, this is where you ask dumb questions because you don't know the answer. And it's okay to ask them. It's okay to ask dumb questions if you're new. It's okay to be new too. In fact, a quality project will not be offended by the dumb questions, and instead, like this community does, the creators of it, who was it? It was KG. He just opened up a voice chat and just started chatting and saying, hey, what are your questions? Let me hear them. And then it was able to just be answered quickly. So that's not all what this video is about. Most of what I like to talk about is how I can develop wealth for myself. Not for myself, but for my family. And not only for my family, but generationally. I want to be able to create wealth that can then be used to enhance the world. And so that takes, no one's going to just do this for you. No one's going to just say, okay, here, this is what you do step by step. This is how you got to do it. You actually have to take the step. And there's not very many people that do take the step. So for instance, I learned about crypto in 2017, and then as soon as I learned about it, I went on and I lost a ton of money on Ether Delta trying to invest in something called KIN. Yeah, I did that. And I lost because I couldn't figure out how to work the exchange. I know, it's probably easy now, but then it wasn't easy. And so, but I dug in, and I didn't give up at that point. And then I found Coinbase, and then I went into Coinbase and I learned how to on-ramp a much better way, easier. And so the point is, not many people will not do the work to build wealth. And so it's important for us to find ways to on-ramp people. Internet money is that on-ramp. So they're creating, and they're not done with it currently, but they're creating a wallet. And this wallet is very similar to an existing wallet that many, many, many people know and use on a daily basis. Roughly $30 million worth of daily use is flowing in and out of this existing wallet that people use. And so what they're creating is a wallet. What they're also creating, they've got a 2-token system. I'm not really going to talk about the second token. If you want to research, it's imcrypto.net or .com or .something, dot, what is it? imcrypto.net if you're interested. They did do a sacrifice stage. They had it set up to where you had a limited supply, which was different than all of the rest of the PulseChain sacrifices. Completely different. What was it? Was it 1.2 million? Yeah, so Pool A was 1.2 million. And it was unclear whether Pool B would even open or if Pool B would be a good deal, being that it was no cap and it was only 10%. The remaining 10%, which I think was 1 million, 1.3 million. Now I'm going to get those numbers wrong, and I don't want to say it. So there was a supply that was for Pool B, and then it would be distributed amongst the people that were inside that pool. I sacrificed for Pool A and Pool B because I wasn't certain what Pool B was going to do, and it turns out that Pool B wasn't that great of an investment for me. Not saying that it wasn't for you or it wasn't because you didn't get in time. That's not what I'm saying. It just wasn't for me because I did much better in Pool A. And so Pool A was you get in and you get a set number. I think it was like 1,000 per $1 or something like that. And Pool B was like 220 per $1. So it's still good, especially good when I tell you about how this thing works. I mean, very good comparatively to how this thing works. Okay, so that's the sacrifice. That's the background of the product. That's the background of all that stuff, and that's great. All that's good. You missed that. That's okay. We're gonna go into what this product is and how and why I'm saying that you could potentially be making 154,000 PLS per day. How can you make 154,000 PLS per day? Whew. PulseChain. I really, really want you to stay cheap. I want it to stay inexpensive for as long as possible. As long as possible. Have you ever seen anyone want a currency, especially this one, to stay low? Typically, when you get into a project, you want it to moon. Everybody wants it when moon, when rocket ships, when giant eggplants, when whatever. They want something further up. But in this case, I want PulseChain to stay incredibly low. So then, what are the reasons? Other than just buying it for a good price, what's the other reason it could be? So the reason that it could be is that there is something called IMD. Internet Money Dividend Token is produced. That's the sacrifice that you went through. And Internet Money Dividend is, in essence, you're earning from transactions. We're going to get into that a little bit deeper here. In fact, maybe we should start with what the current wallet structure is, what it is, how it works. So here we go. We're going to go down the rabbit hole. MetaMask. If you have been in crypto, you most likely know what it is. However, I'll explain it simply. MetaMask is an interface. That's all. That's all it is. It's just an interface. It allows you to interact with Web3 applications, with contracts, with simply put, it basically takes it doesn't even hold your crypto, which people don't understand. It is just showing you what you have. It's like I don't know what it's like, but it's just an interface. That's all it is. It's just a front end to show your crypto, and it interacts with contracts that are produced on blockchains. And I say blockchains because it's able to go onto multiple blockchains, and that's good because a lot of people use it. And in fact, it gets used. Well, we'll get into how much it gets used. And so they charge a fee in order to use their product. You could interact with it and just have it. They don't charge you for that. They charge you for transacting through those blockchains, and doing interacting with contracts, and then they also have an exchange feature within MetaMask, and that they charge you for those as well. And it has a ranging fee between 0.3% and 0.875%. And it says right here, a dynamic service fee that ranges between 0.3% and 0.875% is automatically factored into each quote, which supports ongoing development to make MetaMask even better. So what does that mean? What's that last part? Supports ongoing development to make MetaMask even better. Well, it doesn't look like MetaMask has really made much improvements. However, that means that the developers are making lots and lots of money off of these transactions. And don't get me wrong, I think they should. They developed a product that we all use, and it works. It could be better, yes, but it works and we use it. So they should be paid for their use. It's like if someone is a really good plumber and they're your friend, just because they're your friend, they shouldn't do it for free. They should do it for the same wage that they do it, because they're professional. This is a professional product, and they should be paid for the services that it renders. So I agree with fees. So how much volume does MetaMask do? Well, on a daily basis, it does, if we look at this little chart here, it does roughly $30 million. And I'm going to use $30 million as my point of interaction. I'm going to use $30 million for all of the maths going forward. And again, just a preface, I'm not good at math, and so some of this math might be wrong. Whatever. The idea is that we're going to build some passive gains in the form of PLS. That's where we're getting to. But their volume is 30 million per day, and on average, the average trade looks like it's about $3,000. It's pretty good. So their daily, so I just broke it down a little bit here. Their daily fee accumulation is on average 30 million, and then these are the two different fee structures, so it could vary between $90,000 a day and $262,000 per day, and that's on average. So I mean, you could have days where you do $500,000 a day, where it looks like they did a $500,000 day over here at the top. You could have a $500,000 day, but in this instance, this is where it's at. So IMD holders. So going back to IMD. So how is IMD going to create this, or what are they going to do with this? We're just going to use some scenarios here, and I'm going to try to build up an understanding as to why holding this token is game changer and how it can be used to enhance everything in the whole entire ecosystem, how you can use it to enhance your other positions, what you could do with it, and how we can go forward. So holders of the IMD token will get a portion of the fees generated by the wallet, respective to their holdings. To calculate your percentage of the pool, you can divide how many tokens you have by the total supply and multiply it by 100 to know your percent of the pool. All right. So, example, 1 million IMD divided by 2 billion total supply, and then times that by 100, and you get 0.05% of the fees. So if the fees are for that day $262,500, you're going to get 0.07%. Or was it 0.05%. Okay, so let's move on. Moving on. So in scenario one, I'm basically saying in a year from now, IMD is going to do 10% of the volume, of the average volume of MetaMask. Now that average volume of MetaMask is going to go up because more people are going to get into crypto. It's not widely adopted yet, so it's going to get bigger. But I'm just using a very flat ratio. I'm also not changing for prices. I'm not changing for volatility. I'm going to go linear straight across this thing, and I'm going to cut it in half and say this is where it is across the board pretty average. Let's say it that way. So a year from now, 10% of MetaMask's volume, and then I'm going to use a scenario. I got into the sacrifice, and I'm going to kind of use some rough numbers here, so just bear with me. I sacrificed about $1,250, and it's a little more, but it's fine. Just for numbers, it works. So that I got a little over 1.4 million IMD, right? So I take that 1.4, and then I put the math right. Okay, so whatever. 1,413,000, that's the actual number, I guess, divided by 2 billion times 100 equals 0.07065%. So I own that much percent of the fees on the IMD wallet. Okay, so what do I have to do with those when I own those? Well, you don't have to do anything with them. You just leave them in you don't even have to use the wallet. You could just leave them in MetaMask. I mean, surprisingly, right? You can leave them in your MetaMask. You don't have to have them on the other wallet that they're producing. That's pretty cool. Just by holding them, doing nothing else. MetaMask average daily volume is 30 million. If we take 10% of the volume, for example, we get, 10% of 30 million is 3 million. IMD wallet will have a fee. It's a flat fee of 0.007 on every transaction, which is basically 0.729%. So 3 million times that equals $21,870 daily on average for fees. If the volume is 3 million per day. It could be less, it could be more. I don't know. But we're just speculating, and I'm just trying to give you some numbers here. So that's $21,000 roughly worth of PLS at whatever value PLS is. This is the key right here. This is the key. Now, the key is to understand that this is in PLS, not in USD. And so when I first did my numbers, when I first started this whole entire breakdown of everything, I got a little screwed up because I did it into USD, and I was like, well, that's not very, it is good, but it's not as good as it could be. And it's actually so much better that they give it in PLS, because I believe over time PLS is going to go up in value. I think that if it starts out pretty close to where the sacrifice spot was for the smaller sacrificers, because there was a smaller sacrificer set and then there was the larger set. The smaller sacrificer set for PLS, they got 10,000 to 1, but there was a larger set that got 15,000 to 1 and 20, I think it was 25,000 to 1, I want to say, or 24,000 to 1. So I mean, there was somebody who was getting a lot more that could dump them for 10, and they still make a lot of money. So my point is, it could start low and it could gradually go up, and that's where I got screwed up, is I did it with a USD value as opposed to how much actual PLS I could be getting, and then I got my eyes opened. It was an eye-opening moment. So now we take the position and figure out what my passive income could be. And this is my wealth building. So I take the 21,870 and I times it by my position, which is 0.0007, and I get $15.45 per day in daily volume. And so that's the dollar value. And since we have a dollar value in on the transaction side, I'm going to use the dollar value on the outside, and then I'm going to divide that by PLS, whatever the price could be. And so the price could be at the SAC rate of 3 zeros and a 1, which would net me, that would be $154,500. I'm sorry, 154,500 PLS. Yeah, so $15.45, and I went, whoa. So yeah, I mean, it's not very much money. However, there's something very cool here. So now, since it will be in the form of PLS, we have to do some guessing a little bit. So I did basically what I think that in a year would be a good number, right? I think this would be a really good number. And everybody's gonna be like, well, no, that price prediction, and it's not a price prediction. It's just what I really genuinely think is a good price. I feel I would be very happy with a 5.8 times my money. 5.8x on something that I am a long-term believer in. I think that's fantastic. There could be thousands of X's, sure. I don't know. I have no idea. But I do believe that 5.8x is totally doable. And so I'm just going to do my math on that. And if I'm wrong, well, then I win. But if I'm right, then I win. Right? So it's fine. I mean, even a 2x is cool. So $15.45 divided by what I think that the PLS price will be, which is 3058, and that gives me 26,637 PLS per day. Per day. Automatically. I don't have to do anything. Every day. All day. Bam, 26,000 in my wallet. Bam, 26,000 in my wallet. You know, like that's freaking huge. That's massive. So because I like real estate, I want to do some calculations based on and I'm doing the real estate at the end of this one because I don't want to cloud it up in the beginning. So if you want to skip through this, or if you just want to end the video now, you can go for it. But if you wanted to see what people feel like a good return on their money is. So I know several real estate investors that want to make 8% cash on cash return. So basically the cash that they put into a project or a house or a flip or real estate or the land investment or whatever they have, if they put in $100,000, they want to make 8% per year or 12% per year, which is kind of silly now because inflation, hyperinflation, it's not good. Like, it's a bad deal. But my minimum on my investment properties is I won't touch it. I don't want anything to do with it if it's not 15%. And come to find out that I'm just barely keeping up with inflation right now. And all those other people, not doing so good. So if my bare minimum is 15%, if I'm taking my money and I'm sticking it into a home and I pull my money out and I have whatever money's left over in there, I want to make 15% on it. That's good. Let me show you why this cash on cash return is much better. So if I do $15.45 per day times 365 days, and I don't do anything with that money, like I'm not compounding it, I'm just letting it sit inside of the account and it just does nothing. And that doesn't account for volume going up or down. It's a flat. Like, remember I said that? It's just flat. So this is not accounting for all of those things. I'm basically going to 4.5 times my money, which is I'm going to take my $1,200 and make it into $5,639 in 1 year, 365 days. Again, not compounding, not doing anything with it, not making my money work for itself, not building wealth like I always talk about, not doing any of those things, just collecting the fees and letting them sit. So if you want to do cash on cash return, you basically take the cash that you get in a year, the yearly cash amount that comes in, would be the cash flow. So how much cash flow after you pay all your things and all your stuff and your capital expenditures, what are you bringing in? And then divide that by your initial investment. So I just did that. $5,639.25 divided by $1,257 equals a 448% cash on cash return. 448%! Oh, I should have invested more. You see what I'm saying? And I'm doing a very, very flat number. This is wealth. So if you missed that, 448% cash on cash return. Whew. Gorgeous. It's gorgeous, guys. It's gorgeous. This is why I say PulseChain it's mind-boggling to me that it exists. It absolutely revolutionizes all of these thoughts that I have going on in my mind. You know, I love tangible assets. In fact, some of my profits will go into more tangible assets. I would like to own about $100 million to $500 million worth of real estate. That's what I'd like to own. I would like to own rental properties. And you know why I love rental properties? It's very simple. People like say, well, yeah, you got to change toilets, you got to fix this, that. No. You got property managers. They do all that stuff. But what I love is I love to be able to give somebody a place to call their home. I love the feeling of someone having a place for their kids to be safe, for them to be able to live. I like to make sure people are not sleeping on the street, right? And someday I might do like a homeless hotel. I know, it sounds crazy. Why would you do it? I probably will. But this is going to allow me to build wealth digitally that you show me where you can make 448% on your money. Show me that one. Yeah, sure. I mean, you could buy a coin and you could go up that much and you could sell it. But again, you have to sell it. I don't have to sell anything and I get this. I'm not selling anything. Again, you never sell your coins. Remember we talked about this. If you forgot about this, go back to my liquid loans video and you can see how you can never sell. And if you really want to supercharge this now, is you take this money, and now that you know how much you could get from it, and put this into liquid loans, and then continue to the haunted strategy and never sell your coins again. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. And I hope you all have a great weekend. And subscribe, share it with your friends, and let's keep this snowball rolling.